As we come on the air this morning, new details are emerging about the FBI's search of Mar-a-Lago. ABC News has confirmed a New York Times report that when a small team of federal investigators visited Donald Trump's Palm Beach home in June, a lawyer for the former president signed a declaration claiming that Donald Trump had turned over all items marked classified. That turned out to be far from the truth. In executing the search warrant Monday, the FBI seized a treasure trove of government documents allegedly taken from the White House. 27 boxes of material, including 11 sets of classified documents, 4 of them marked top secret, and 1 at an even higher classification, TS-SCI. Material that would be so damaging if it were revealed it is only to be seen by select individuals in a secure location. ABC News has also learned the FBI seized surveillance video, including footage of the areas around where the documents were stored. It all points to a gravely serious investigation centered on the former president. For the most part, Republicans in Congress reacted to the news of the FBI search by rallying to Donald Trump's defense and attacking the FBI. A group of House Republicans met with him the following day, one of them posting this photo and declaring House conservatives are standing by Donald Trump. Another House Republican declared, "We must destroy the FBI." Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader and quite possibly the next Speaker of the House, denounced what he called the, quote, weaponized politicization of the DOJ, and he threatened the Attorney General that Republicans will investigate him if they win the House. In Cincinnati on Thursday, a reminder that rhetoric can have consequences. An armed man wearing body armor attempted to break into the FBI field office, dying in a shootout with federal agents. And now the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are issuing a joint bulletin to local law enforcement warning of an unprecedented number of threats against the FBI, adding, quote, statements by public officials which incite violence could escalate the threat environment. The Mar-a-Lago search warrant cited 3 possible broken laws, including the Espionage Act and obstruction of justice. Republicans have to now decide how far to take their defense of the former president and their attacks on federal law enforcement. We're going to cover all the angles this morning. Republican Governor Larry Hogan and White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre are here and standing by. But we begin with ABC's chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams, and ABC national security analyst and former DHS Assistant Secretary Elizabeth Neumann. Dan, let me start with you. We just don't know if the Justice Department has decided to pursue criminal charges despite this warrant. But given what you have seen and what you read in that warrant, what we know about the search, how likely is it that this would all end with no criminal charges against Trump or anybody else in his inner circle?
Look, that is still certainly possible. The first question becomes, what were they doing there? Was the number one concern pursuing potential criminal charges, or was the number one concern getting the stuff back? And I think when you're talking about evaluating this through a legal prism, the fundamental question is going to be intentionality. How much do they believe that they did this on purpose? Were they intentionally ignoring subpoenas? Were they literally destroying documents or mutilating, as one of the statute refers to? Were they concealing? Those are going to be the sorts of legal questions that are going to have to be evaluated, because when you're talking about potentially indicting the former president of the United States, you don't just look at the words of the statute. You also have to be thinking about the big picture implications. And so I believe for them to indict the former president, they are going to have to believe that this has been ongoing, intentional conduct to flaunt the law.
And the warrant cited 3 statutes, 3 laws. How serious are these crimes if he is found to have broken any of those 3 laws?
Oh, they're very serious. And the one that's being talked about most is this Espionage Act, because it has the word espionage in it. But the truth is that when it comes to potential criminal sentences, the obstruction of justice statute is the one with the most potential prison time. There you're talking about up to 20 years behind bars. So these are not sort of minor crimes we're talking about here. We're talking about the potential for serious felonies with regard to all 3 of the crimes being investigated.
And let me quickly ask you to clarify. We've heard from Trump's people that he declassified everything before he left office. There's no evidence that that's true. But quickly, would that even matter?
Look, it matters in the court of public opinion, right, in terms of how bad is it that he took these documents. But as a strictly legal matter, there's an argument to be made that all three of the statutes they're investigating wouldn't require that the documents be classified. But again, this goes to the intentionality conduct. It goes back to the question of how bad was it? Was it on purpose? And I think there it is kind of relevant in assessing the conduct, but strictly from a legal perspective, that's not going to make or break.
And Elizabeth, let's turn to the gunman who attacked the FBI field office in Cincinnati. What do we know about him?
Well, the investigation's still underway, but we know he's 42 years old. We hear from the Washington Post that he is a former Navy veteran, as well as a member of the Florida National Guard. And we know that the indications are that he may have had ties to Proud Boys and other extremist movements, and the FBI was interested in him. They had done several inquiries into him, no specific credible threat, but they attempted to talk to him multiple times and were not able to.
And he had an account on Donald Trump's social media platform, Truth Social, which was quite active, or at least an account with his name that was quite active before the attack in Cincinnati. The last posting on that account is a haunting one. It was while the attack was underway. It says, "If you don't hear from me, it is true I tried attacking the FBI."
That's right. And look, we know that there are a variety of underlying psychosocial factors that lead somebody to cross that threshold into violence. But there is no doubt that what happened at Mar-a-Lago this week, and really not the action itself of a search warrant being executed, but the way Trump framed it, the way Republican officials framed it, that was a trigger for him. That's what caused him, it appears, based on these posts.
So to direct, it's the attacks on the FBI by Trump's allies, it's concern about that attack that led him to, in turn, go after the field office.
Exactly.
And there's been some suggestion that he was actually there on January 6th with the rioters at the Capitol, January 6, 2021. Is that right?
That's right. We see in his social media feeds claiming that he was there, and we have examined some photographs. It does appear that he was there on January 6th.
Talk to me more about what we've seen in his social media postings and what we've seen on Truth Social generally. Even over the weekend, we saw trending topics, hashtag FBI corruption, defund the FBI. He's not alone. I mean, there are a lot of people like him out there.
That's right. There have been multiple polls that have indicated that about a third of adult Americans believe that political violence may be necessary from time to time. That's a stunning number of people that believe that somehow violence is a way in which to achieve their political aims. We're in the middle of an 8-year uptick of domestic terrorism activity. It is really stunning to me that in the midst of that environment, we have Republican officials that seem to have not learned the lessons from the last 6 years, that their rhetoric can incite violence. This is a time for being calm and not speculating, and certainly not providing rhetoric that suggests that civil war or taking up arms is necessary.
Well, we'll see if there is a downtick in that rhetoric following what happened in Cincinnati. Elizabeth Newman, Dan Abrams, thank you both very much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.